Hello Tube Dwellers and welcome. I'm the Arcadean and this is Mabinogi Duel. So last week I said that I'm probably doing a 10 win streak video this week, but because of the latest patch, the Rookie Arena is down. So instead, what I thought I'd do is show off a classic PvP gimmick deck, Magician Jurh, which is of course based around this lovely fellow here. I'll be going into the basics of building the deck first, and then we'll jump into a couple of games. So, without further ado, let's get started. First thing to do when building a Jurh deck is to, of course, include Magician Jurh. Now, his ability means that he'll summon a creature from your hand onto the field inside of a box. This is randomized, however, you can, of course, choose which creature to play simply by having no creature cards in your deck other than the one or the two that you actually want to be placed onto the field. In this case, we're using Doom Machine Core. It's an incredibly powerful card, a lot of soul stones, a lot of resurrections, and so on and so forth, and it's the same color as Jurh, so it fits nicely into the deck. And the other one is Doom Machine Saint. Now, when you're running a Jurh deck, you really want to keep it to either one or two colors because you want to accelerate the resource growth in the early game as much as possible. If you last into the late game, generally you've done something wrong to begin with, or your opponent is simply outplaying you. Apart from the Doom Machine cores, we use the Book of Knowledge in order to ramp up to level 2 as quickly as possible and to give us a little bit more mana. Now, I'm not using the mutant variant of this, the Mana Book of Knowledge, because you actually want more mana than you want light. As you can see here, Jurh will cost you 4, and the Mirror of Truth, the second card that you'll always need in a Jurh deck, costs 2. So Jurh is literally double the cost of the Mirror of Truth. So a normal Book of Knowledge. After that, Holy Missile, in order to deal with any low-cost initial creatures they may try to flood your field with. Turn to Frog, which is fantastic for dealing with any of their large creatures, and also if they capture your Doom Machine, you can simply turn it into a frog and then kill it with Holy Missile. Then we're using 2 light Feathers of Phoenix. You don't necessarily need to run 2, but it's a good idea just in case. The weakness to a Jurh deck is that if they do manage to kill off your Jurh and your box without you summoning, if your Mirror of Truth just fails to activate, you can be in a lot of trouble because these are expensive cards. With the Feathers of Phoenix, though, that problem is negated. If the enemy kills your box and the creature is not summoned, the creature inside the box is considered to have been killed in combat. The Feathers of Phoenix will actually work in that case. And then there's a 50% chance of whether or not it'll summon Jurh or it'll summon the creature. Either way, you can either just carry on if it summons the creature, or you just reset if it summons Jurh, you resurrect the Mirror of Truth, and you carry on as per normal. Mirror of Truth, of course, you absolutely have to have that. It's the only real way of transforming the box back to normal. It does have an 80% chance of success, which means at every single level you have a 20% chance of failure. Be aware of this. It might not work, and you may go a number of battles in a row where it just simply fails. There are ways to adapt accordingly, but keep your fingers crossed that you don't have to. Finally, Counterspell. Fantastic if you suspect that the enemy is hoarding a capture card or a turn to frog or something like that that's going to mess up your Doom Machines. That's about it, really. In terms of substitutions, I don't really advise substituting any particular card. You could switch out one of these Light Feathers of Phoenix if you absolutely wanted to, but again, try not to put any more creature cards in your deck. Any creature that's in your deck has a chance of being summoned by Jurh whenever he's put onto the field, so you don't want to mess up your strategy too much. This is quite an expensive deck. It will run you about 1,000,000 gold, so it's not for the faint of heart. However, it is a gimmick deck, which means that it is very hard to counter unless your opponent knows that it's coming. I think that's about all we need to talk about in terms of deck building, so let's jump into a couple of games, shall we? Alright, I'm going to be doing friendly matches simply because I don't want to get involved with the arena at the moment. You really should put 3 decks up if you're running PvP arena, and then you need to counterpick accordingly. What's this now? Split body -1, not really very interesting, so no thank you. Scamcat. Okay. We'll jump into the 1v1 duel mode. Excellent for practice, and the players here tend to be pretty high level. They are generally veteran players who are testing out new decks they're running or trying to get the daily 500 golds. Alright, let's hope we can get a game quickly. Very quickly. Excellent. Sarah versus Sarah. In terms of heroes to use with this deck, any of the normal ones are fine. Don't use L, obviously. You do want your creatures and traps to stay in the grave. But Sarah's fine. I mean, even Tarlak and Xenovish are fine. So a light elf, that's irritating, but it's not really going to cause us any problems. We throw out the Mana Book of Knowledge because we went second, which means that we can now level up to 2 immediately. Throwing out the Hour of Revenge. Okay, so he may know what I'm trying to do and he may be trying to burn me down quick. Or he may just have been guaranteeing the ability to level up. We'll see. Okay, good. I'm quite happy about their resource placement. They don't have enough resources at this point to counter me. I'm dropping Jurh in front of the elf because I don't want my box to appear in front of the elf. Because if it turns out to be a big creature, and we failed. That's really unfortunate. Let's see what happens. I'm hoping he kills the box. But we'll see. Nah, no, he's too smart for that. Okay, we pull back from the grave. And we will discard our Book of Knowledge in order to build up some mana to try the Mirror of Truth again next turn. Okay, that's fine. Alright, we're still alright. Fingers crossed that this works. Excellent, it did. Good. Now, we drop a counter spell in there because I don't want to run any risks. And we'll see what happens. Okay, turn to Frog, which we countered. Fantastic. If he has a Drag to Hell, that could be problematic. No, Skeleton Knight. Excellent. Alright, now the problem that we face here is that a Arrow of Revenge plus the Mercenary could theoretically kill us. So, we'll level up, give ourselves a little bit of breathing room for the HP wise, and let's get this Skeleton Knight down to Skeleton. There we go. Now, she has to deal 10 damage to us somehow, and I don't think she can. Blocking us with Share. That's not going to work. The Doom Machine Saint's going to kill her with his ability. There we go. And we win. Fantastic. So, you can see what I meant when I said earlier that the... And they forfeit, that's fine. When I said earlier that the Mirror of Truth can fail, and that's awkward, certainly, but you can work around it. 10% discount coupon, always nice. Alright, so that was very successful. Let's try one more, shall we? I'm hoping that one of these is going to just be a nice, straight, clean victory, just so I can show you how it works when everything just goes as it's supposed to. Duel, there we go. Alright, let's see if we can get another quick fight in. I usually wait for like 4 or 5 minutes on these. this one may be taking a while longer. Alright, in terms of counters to the Jurh deck, you really need, as I said before, to know that it's coming, but there are a number of ways of dealing with it. Capture, Betrayal, Turn to Frog, Cocoon of Evolution. Those are all good ways of either just countering it or turning it to your advantage. Prowse is a very good counter to it, because he'll just basically obliterate the Doom machines. Generally, your best bet is Transformation Magics. But be aware that almost every Jurh deck, such as this one, will run a counter spell. So make sure that you also have a low cost spell. Something like Heavy Offering would be perfect. You throw out that spell first in order to trigger their counter spell, and then you use your big spell. Do not play your Capture or Cocoon of Evolution or something like that first. If it gets countered, you're doomed. Aha, Doom machines. Perfect, here we go. Alright. Interesting hero choice by this Korean player. Can't read that.
Magicians and summoners, the duel will start now.
Okay. Mana Light Darkness deck, no mutants. Wow, alright. Assistant right off the bat, okay. We'll use Book of Knowledge. Always use Book of Knowledge if you go second. It just immediately gets you up to being able to level up. That's fantastic. The charge means that she cannot level up next turn. Last guy that we fought used an Hour of Revenge. The spell plus the damage to my hero gave them enough experience that they could level up almost immediately. This guy's not doing that. So we'll drop the Magician Jurh in there. That's fine, and fingers crossed. Again. Oh, awesome. Alright, never mind. We can resurrect and do it again immediately next turn. It's no big deal. And they're in an awkward position. They can either try to counter me immediately or they can level up, and they chose to level up. Alright, let's do this. Revive. And try it again if this fails again. Okay, it didn't. Good. Excellent. If that had messed up again, I was going to have some harsh words with the developers. And they're thinking. It is tricky. They're really thinking that, or they're trying to, I don't know, force me to rage quit by taking too long. Oh no, there we go. Interesting choice. Not really sure what their plan is there. Wow, okay. Bad luck on their part. Right, well, I have a bunch of choices here, but I think what I want to do is... Yeah, I think what I want to do is I want to drop... No, I don't want to drop the counterspell, that's stupid. What am I saying? We're going to discard the Book of Knowledge. And we're going to Holy Missile down the Assistant. Okay. So she's going to need to do something pretty fancy at this point. If she has a Phantom of the Wolf, that could be interesting. Alright, that's, yeah, she's just going to use that for blocking. That's fine. Alright, we'll level up here. And drop a counter spell just in case she's building up for something. Now, she needs to do something to stop the Doom Machine, because if she doesn't stop the Doom Machine now, we simply use a surprise attack next turn and then win. Unfortunate. If that had been a Black Knight, it would have been a good play. But now we simply surprise attack Zaina. And we win. Not with a huge HP advantage, but that's kind of how Jurh works. You take a lot of punches to begin with, but then you simply steamroll in the mid-game. Okay, excellent. Now let's see if we get anything good. Come on, gems. Oh, 1,000 gold, that's also nice. Excellent. So, that's the Jurh deck, basically. You can see that if the Mirror of Magic had actually succeeded when it was supposed to in both of those games, they would have been over significantly faster. But even though it failed, we still managed to pull both games out. No real difficulty with them. So, if you're going to be building a Jurh deck, one last time, you need Jurh, you need the Mirror of Truth. No, that's all frozen. That's unfortunate. Well, you need the Mirror, you need Jurh, you need the Book of Knowledge in order to ramp up your experience. You're going to need some removal spells, and please don't forget, don't include any other creatures than the ones you absolutely want Jurh to summon. It's the number one problem that I see when people who are new to the game are building Jurh decks. They'll include their two main characters and then completely forget they're not supposed to include any more creatures, and you'll find them, pulling elves and things out of the box. So that's it for today. Nice short video. So next week I will be doing the 10 win streak video, and hopefully we can get through that with no troubles. Until then, have fun and good luck.